Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2024 rookie report here for you on the channel. And today we're going to break down Ben Sinnott, Kansas State tight end. We're looking for some tight ends after Brock Bowers. So is Ben Sinnott going to fit the bill to hit our dynasty rosters? Well, my podcast co-host Jason DiRienzo, he's going to join me. We're going to break it all down. We're going to go over his stats. We're going to go over his PFF grades, his scouting report, draft capital, rookie projections, as well as a few player comps. So, the tight end is kind of getting rekindled in the dynasty landscape out there. So what does Ben Sinnott look like? Is he going to hit our dynasty rosters? We're going to let you know. So if you play dynasty, you play fantasy, you're looking for a YouTube channel out there, hit that subscribe button, help us grow the channel. Shortly after the draft, we're going to be getting right into scouting the 2025 draft class as well to give you guys an early look at next year's class. Let's get to the show. All right, Jason, let's do a tight end rookie report right now. Let's talk about Ben
Let's do it.
Sinnott. All right, tight end, 6'4", 245-pound, true junior out of Kansas State. All right, you guys know the drill with these videos. We're going to go his career statistics here: 170 receptions, 2,600 yards, 18 TDs, 15.7 average. In line, he was 66%, 20% in the slot, and 15% in the backfield. Reception, 69%. Hands, I think, are something we're going to talk about on his scouting report. He's got a good set of hands. He had 14 drops. Doesn't sound, after I said he has got a good set of hands, he has 14 drops over 3 seasons, but averaging, it's a 7.6 percentile. So in any case, some solid hands. We're going to talk about that when we get to a scouting report. So with his PFF grades here for the 2023 season, his receiving grade was 81. That's in the highest percentile. Contested catch rate under 50% at 35.7. His run blocking grade, 76%. Man, I'll tell you, the run blocking, there's people that think he's a good run blocker. There's people that don't think he's a good run blocker. And of course, I'll give you my opinion here in a minute. But yards after the catch per reception was 42. It was 6.8 yards after the catch, ranked 42nd in college football for tight ends, and missed tackles forced tied fourth with 14, showing a little elusivity. Averaged at the target 10, so we tied for 32nd. So is a playmaker down the field, but I don't see that whereas he is going to win. So, when I watch Ben Sinnott, right, we watched the game against Iowa State. It's on the YouTube channel. Go check it out. We really didn't have access to a lot of all 22 film for him. So unfortunately, we didn't see that. But, watching some breakdowns and stuff like that, I think the first thing I look at when I look at Ben's game is his versatility. His alignment versatility. Again, he's coming out of the backfield. He's in the slot. He's in line. So he's a kind of a move around tight end. And I think that's going to lend itself to maybe not the best fantasy kind of tight end, but maybe like a really good tight end for the NFL, because I think he's got, when we talk about his pass catching ability, I think he's got really good, hands, showed some ability to adjust to the football with some good body control. He's not a vertical separator in my mind. I think he's going to win primarily in the short and intermediate parts of the field. But I thought he was a decent route runner, creating space. Did you find him to, be an okay route runner up there? Not an explosive guy, but a guy navigating through zone coverages and that type of thing. What did you think about his route running ability?
I actually came away pretty impressed with his route running ability. I mean, you're right. He's not an explosive separator or anything like that, but I think he's very manipulative. He knows exactly. I think it's more so with his eyes. And Michael Mayer did the same exact thing. He keeps his eyes straight downfield, so he doesn't sell anything at all to the defender, and he
Mhm.
just knows exactly when to turn and break. And it's almost like he knows when the defender's in that back pedal, or when the defender feels comfortable that he's gonna align with him on a vertical route, that he either goes in or out and makes that cut. So I like the strategy behind how he does things. I think there's definitely football IQ there. I think he's intelligent with how I saw him navigate zone, find those soft spots. He wasn't running combo routes, but if the route he was running, like on a post route, if the quarterback was in trouble or still wasn't available to throw the ball, he wasn't just sitting there either. Like, he would sit there if he needed to, but he would also just keep that route going and maybe head back
Mhm.
out to the outside or figure out another way to find himself open to be quarterback friendly. So the IQ, I think, is definitely there.
So what's part of his game do you think it's going to hold him back?
Oh my god. First off, I didn't see the same athleticism at the combine,
Hmm.
but which is weird because I was at the Senior Bowl. I watched Ben Sinnott at the Senior Bowl, and you could see he's a little bit more explosive off the line than in game film. He's got a little bit more speed, but that's in a practice situation.
Hmm.
The combine is a controlled environment as well. What I see on the field, that athleticism does not match up to me. I don't think he's breaking away from any faster safeties or faster, sideline to sideline linebackers that might be shadowing him. And also the blocking, man. I think he's a liability in blocking. I watched a lot or tried to watch enough of the blocking from him as I could. He missed so many assignments. He puts his hands too high. He can't get an anchor. His base is off balance at some points, and then sometimes he just completely whiffed on the assignment. So as much as people are saying like the run blocking, I only saw a couple snaps. He did decent. I think the blocking might be a liability at next level if he's struggling at the college level right now.
Yeah, I think he's, if I think he would excel as like a fullback, kind of in that
That's
regard.
actually, yeah, I could
Yeah,
see that.
yeah.
That's a
So
good point. Yep.
if because it says here right here, 15% he was in the backfield, right? So I could see, like I said, an
Mhm.
NFL team using him. That okay, he's got a good set of hands. We'll work on his blocking on the end of the
Yeah.
line. But if a team wants to run with a fullback and have that guy go out for screen passes and stuff, I mean, he did get some end arounds and stuff like that on some of the film that I was watching. But I agree with you. You go back, take a look at that Iowa State game on my YouTube channel. It was a snow game, so it's kind of hard, but I just didn't see a player who was breaking away from other players and, that looked ultra dynamic. So, I mean, it's a down class, right? We got Brock Bowers in this class and, maybe Jatavian Sanders or Theo Johnson. I mean, who knows who's going to be the second or third tight end taken in the draft, but I don't foresee Ben Sinnott like being one of the, like getting a Sam Laporta or a Dalton Kincaid type,
Oh god, no.
role,
No, no.
on an NFL roster. So, so let's lend that self to the draft capital. I mean, I think he's clearly a day three, an early day three guy. I mean, that's kind of where I
Mhm.
have him pegged right now. Which
Yeah,
is
I
probably
would agree
meaning,
with that.
I've seen him in rookie drafts. If he gets good draft capital and then like a landing spot, I've seen him go as high as like the top of the third round, mid third rounds. But I'm thinking he's more of like a fourth, clearly like a fourth tight end. Especially if he's maybe the third or fourth tight end taken, in the draft and the landing spot is like not great. I could see him easily being a fourth pick, fourth round,
Yeah,
super,
yeah.
rookie. All right. My comp is Tyler Conklin. Um, and for the reason is I feel like that's the kind of path that he might take. Tyler Conklin was that tight end that we all had hopes for. He played at the Vikings, right, for a long, long
Yeah.
time and had all the potential, but just never ever seemed to make it to our dynasty rosters. So my comp is not so much because I really don't remember what Tyler Conklin looked like playing on the field. But I know what his journey was in Dynasty. It was one of frustration and one of he never just. And then he was traded somewhere. We thought maybe this was his opportunity. I think went to the Panthers. Was it the Panthers he was traded to?
I'm
Not
not too
sure.
sure.
But any case,
Think they still have Tommy Trouble. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, it doesn't matter. But in any case, that was just my player comp for him, player that I saw. I see your comp is a backup as well, who most likely won't make it to our dynasty rosters either.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Long to me coming out of Boston College, I see very similar skill sets between him and Ben Sinnott. Hunter Long was highly productive, and even in
Yeah,
Devy circles when we weren't looking at tight ends as valuable, he was still so productive. You could not, just leave him off, your list or anything, like because there's a possibility that production based on how we would find soft spots in zone and everything would translate. It just hasn't happened. And I feel like Ben Sinnott might take the same type of path. And very similar to what you were talking with Tyler Conklin. Like even when Tyler Conklin got opportunity, it wasn't substantial enough that I'm
yeah,
going to feel good about starting him. I'm not sure if I'd ever feel good about starting Ben Sinnott unless he's in one of those situations where the tight end is just a focal point in the offense. And I think there's like three teams like that. So I just don't see it with Ben Sinnott as far as
yeah,
fantasy wise.
yeah. I mean, just look at Pat Fryermuth, right? One of my favorite tight
Mhm.
ends, being a Penn State guy and all of that, and just how that landing spot is just kind of just isn't doing it for me. It's just so. I mean,
Right.
these tight ends are so landing spot dependent, and opportunities everything. So I think we're kind of spoiled maybe a little bit, seeing the two guys break out last year on everyone's roster,
God, we
and
got spoiled so
so.
much.
But then you got to be patient too. Like McBride's breaking out for Arizona, so like you
Right.
just don't know, right? So all right, there you guys got it. That is our rookie report for Ben Sinnott.